All right, so let's dive right into the pitching video. Um, a few thoughts about pitching. Okay, well, we have the keys to pitching, keeping them guessing, the fundamentals, the goal, setting up the batter, the 0 and 1 count or the 0 and 2 count, things that don't matter, and then the main thing. Let's start with the keys. Okay, well, there's a lot of keys here. So the keys is never stop learning. Okay, so every pitch you make, you have to control your mistakes, right? You you never stop learning that. You always control the mindset, you control your pitches, and you control the game at all times. So you're never stop learning no matter where you're at, what level you're at, the beginner to the best, you're always learning the pitch, the situation, the next batter, etc. So that's one of the first keys is never stop learning. Another key for you or for anybody is to have confidence. Okay, so what habits do you have? The practice that you have. Do you believe? The trust that you have. How do you get trust? Well, to get trust, you have to look at confidence. How many times have I done it? Can I do it? Have I practiced enough? Do I believe? Do I trust? And then, of course, the attitude you have. The attitude you have is the attitude you have. Nobody can tell you the attitude that you have, but you got to have your focused attitude on pitching every pitch. Every pitch has to be the best pitch. Okay, and that all obviously starts in the mind before the pitch is made, before you physically do it. Okay, uh, the next key is being smart. Okay, so being smart is knowing what to do, knowing the competition. Okay, do I want to pitch a grounder? Well, if there's a runner on first and I'm trying to get a double play, yeah, I want to pitch a grounder, so maybe I want to pitch it low. Okay, well, typically if you're gonna pitch a grounder and you want the grounder, you're gonna want to pitch it low. So knowing what to do is important. Knowing the competition, who's up. Okay, is it 3-4 batter? Is it the first batter? Is it a batter deeper in the lineup? Depends on which team you're playing. Okay, big difference between one team and another team. So you got to know the competition. Are you going after them, or is it a Lou, or is it a scrooby little player, eighth or ninth in the order that you know you can get out? So being smart is really important. Pitching to your strength is something that's a key. Okay, so pitching to your strength is knowing what your strengths are. Okay, so as a pitcher, you need to know what your strengths are before you enter the game. Okay, are you a controlled pitcher? Yes. Do you have ball movement? Yes. Are you able to set up the pitchers? Yes. That's knowing your strengths. A key is knowing your groove in your zone. What is it you do best? And stick with that and don't let anything sway you away from that. Another key is obsessing over the spin and the ball movement. Okay, if you can move the ball, if you can pitch a good changeup and you can set batters out, that's a pretty big key. Um, the pitches, another thing that is a key is the pitches they cannot hit. So for say Carly, for example, the inside curve. That is a pitch that no one can hit. That should be something we master. Okay, is it a nasty change? Controlled pitches. So one of the keys that you'll want to focus on is the pitch that they cannot hit. Another key is energy and enthusiasm. You're out there for a limited period of time. So during the time you're out there, you always have focus, energy, and enthusiasm. You always have total control over what you're doing. Okay, that's a key. Another key is being crafty. Okay, you want to be crafty all the time. You always want to be thinking crafty. How can I fool them? How can I make it to where they don't know what's coming? That is important. That's the next key. Keep them guessing. If a batter doesn't know what's coming, time after time, and you have a plethora or a multiple pitches you can pitch, um, that's keeping them guessing, and then having ball movement. So those are the keys. Okay. Next is keep them guessing. Okay. Like we said, we want to keep them off balance. We want to keep them wondering what's coming next. And if it's in their mind, if they know they're going to get a fastball curve 7 out of 10 times, then teams will sit on that fastball curve. If they don't know what's coming, that is an advantage to you. Okay, and advantages are very, very important. Let's talk about the fundamentals. So the fundamentals for a guy like you is a loose wrist, evidently. It's your technique. You have to understand what your technique is and how you do it, and your follow through. It's the little advantages that are going to make a big, big swing for you. Okay, and you need to know what those little advantages are and what the fundamentals are. The goals for you, well, for one, the goals for you is what you want them to be. But the goal for a pitcher, anyway, is don't let them hit the ball. Number one, but it isn't necessarily don't let them hit the ball. It's where do you want them to hit the ball? Do you want them to hit it on the ground? So if you want to hit it on the ground, you probably want to keep it low. And again, if you set up pitches low and climb ladder or go in and out, if you utilize elevation and in and out, you're going to keep them guessing, which is going to go back to the keys of the game or the keys to pitching. Okay. The goal is to hit it on the ground and trust the defense. Nothing's flat. Okay, everything's either moving, it's up or down, or it's in and out. And one of the goals is total domination. Okay, so you want to dominate, and you do that by doing the things that we talked about, which is keeping everybody off balance and wondering what to do. One of the goals is every pitch is the best pitch. Okay, every pitch, 100% of the time. You have to trust and believe that you can do that. So let's talk a little bit about setting up a batter. So if you were going to set up a batter, it's not always the same every time. But let's say, for example, if you pitch the ball low, okay, and you're looking for the grounder, and you're going in and out, and you set up the high stuff, okay, or you set up the low stuff, meaning you're high and then you go low in and out, and you're moving the ball and climb the ladder up a little bit. That's setting up a batter. Now you need to be able to know the batters and what you want prior to coming in. That's all about the preparation and the mindset. So that's setting up a batter. On 0-1 and 0-2, for example, you got to make them fish for something. We call it fishing. So we want them to actually go after something that they probably cannot hit. And you can steal a strike, but 0-2, I don't know. If you have really good control and good ball movement, shouldn't have a real problem getting it out of the zone to where if they hit it, they barely can tap it and not hit something that's a solid hit. Use the chair. So as Coach Joe says, the chair pitch, that's essentially a pitch that's your signature pitch. Now, you should have several signature pitches because as people know you, they're going to know what those pitches are. But it really comes down to what do you want to master? Which pitch do you want to call your chair pitch? And you should have several of those. One, for sure, is the inside curve. The inside curve is not a lot of pitches that a lot of people can throw. And if you can throw that to the effectiveness that you know that you can throw it to, that's a chair pitch. The changeup is a chair pitch. Those are strikeout pitches. Those are go-to pitches. Those are pitches that are called the chair that you absolutely, in order to master them, have got to obsess over. Let's talk about a little bit about the advantages. So the advantage of being ahead of the batter or knowing what to do, knowing you as a pitcher, you know what the next pitch is. The batter has no idea. That's a major advantage for a pitcher. You get to deliver to them something they have no idea what's coming, but you do. And if you can master that, practice that, and control that, you'll have the major advantage over everybody. Next is things that don't matter. Things that don't matter are speed. So speed and power don't matter if you can control a ball and move a ball anywhere you want to move it and you know what to do it and you know how to set a batter up. It also doesn't matter what other people think. So when you're out there, you're completely focused on what you're doing. It doesn't matter about your face grimace or what your body looks like when you're doing it. You're just doing what your thing is that you're doing at the time, which is pitching to the best of your ability. How you look doesn't matter. The last pitch doesn't matter, and certainly yesterday doesn't matter. What matters most is the pitch you're about to deliver. I hope that makes sense to you. The main thing is what matters to you, and this is probably the biggest thing. All this means nothing if it doesn't matter to you. Okay, so we can go through these, and you can go through these, and you can figure out what matters to you the most. But when it comes down to it, the main thing is that you decide what matters to you. If you want to master something, you want to learn how to set up batters, you want to learn how to strike out batters, you want to be the best of the best. That's the main thing that matters. This is just a quick little video from me to you about pitching.